Good evening. Welcome to Girl Scouts of Silver Sage. This is our 2025 Troop Volunteer and Cookie Manager Training. We are so excited to bring this to you. We've got a lot of great updates, a lot of terrific information, and we are ready to embrace possibility. A few things that we're going to be working on today. We're going to start off talking about the promise and law. We're going to present to you some group and meeting norms. We'll talk about the things that girls learn as well as the things that girls earn through the Girl Scout Cookie Program. We'll talk about some of the Troop Cookie Manager responsibilities and things that need to be covered by them and or their designee through the Cookie Program. We'll also do a season overview. So we'll do all of the Cookie Program, everything that needs to be done, and we'll do it in calendar order so you can see the flow of the cookie season. And then we'll have a Q&A about the cookie program in particular. And then we'll go through a high-level tour of Smart Cookies so that you are familiar with each of the different tabs and what they do. And then we'll answer some questions if you have some about the cookie systems, that's Smart Cookies and Digital Cookie. So today's presenters are, we call them Team Cookie around here. We also, because our first names are Kim, we go by the Kims sometimes. So that's who the Kims are. That's me, Kim Ross. I was a Girl Scout as a girl, and I sold cookies in the hot South Florida weather. So having a cookie hoodie or a cookie gloves or something is completely foreign to me. I'm still trying to get used to it. And then Kim Hooson is here as well. She is Kim 2.0, the upgrade. She's fantastic. She also was a Girl Scout as a girl, but she sold cookies in the blustery cold of Chicago. So she's used to cookie hoodies and hats and scarves and all that stuff. I just have still have no concept of that. So we'll be working on our presentation tonight. We also are expecting to have Carrie with us. She's a representative from ABC Bakers. So when I see her hop on, I will say hi. Great. So here are the Girl Scout Promise and Law. I'm not going to stand up and say them, but I do want to make sure that you're aware that every portion of the cookie program connects back to the Girl Scout Promise and Law. So that means things like being honest and fair, refunding customers if they hand you a bigger bill than necessary, friendly and helpful, making sure that you're not combative at cookie booths with the next troop or the troop that was there before, that you're helpful and make sure that they have their cookies and have their sales and move forward in a timely manner, and that you then get your sales on a timely manner. Respecting authority, using resources wisely, all of those things are part of the Girl Scout Promise and Law and part of the cookie program. And also, please do remember that you as a registered volunteer are also a Girl Scout. Once a Girl Scout, always a Girl Scout. And then girls see how you behave, and they see the things that you say and do, and they also see your excitement about the cookie program. So do be excited, but also be kind and be friendly and be helpful and be part of our great cookie program and all of the things that it does for girls. So team and meeting norms. First of all, we just went over the Girl Scout Promise and Law. Cookies is not a contest. Whoops. I like to click. So Girl Scout cookies, it's not a contest. Everybody wins when we work together. We build relationships with each other. We also have relationships with each of the stores that you're able to sell cookies at, and those relationships are priceless. So please do not allow us to get kicked out of Fred Meyer or Albertsons or something like that. That would be detrimental to our cookie program. I also want you to pay attention and listen, but you don't need to memorize anything that we're talking about today. You have access to a troop guide. There are all kinds of online resources that are in the green box there. You have access to other volunteers like your service unit cookie manager, 24-hour support from ABC Bakers. You can call Girl Scouts of Silver Sage customer care, or you can email us 24/7. You'll also have just-in-time prompts via email and on video. So what that means is maybe several days to a week and a half before you have to take a certain action, we will send you an email and say, hey, Troop Cookie Manager, this week we need you to do X on this day, Y on that day, and Z on the other day. And so we're right behind you. You're not alone. We will be sharing all those things with you and how to do it. We ask that you lean into the excitement. The girls do feed off of your excitement and your positive energy, and so we are hoping that you'll share that as well. We do part of your responsibility, but what we need is for you to support your troop. Make sure you let the families know that we want the girls to do wherever possible. We want them to do the things and learn the skills. That's what this is about. Please also follow guidelines. Pay special attention while counting, and we'll talk about why that's so important. Always write a receipt. Contact customer care if you have questions. And then tonight we are going to ask you to write down any questions that you have and save them for the end. We may be able to get to some questions in the chat, but we can't guarantee it. We do, however, want to make sure we get to all of your questions. I am here. As long as you keep shooting questions at me, I will be here tonight. Can't say that Kim's able to do that. She has a kiddo at home that's having some issues tonight. So please do write down your questions because we do want to get to them for sure. Okay, so what to expect today? We are going to have this training program. I am going to speak clearly and also as quickly as makes sense. And we're going to cover the who, what, where, why, when, and you'll notice another one in there, whether. So cookies is optional. And so are each of the different components of the cookie program. So we'll talk about those. And again, they are optional. What we will be doing then is reviewing many sources of support that we have for you. And just make sure that you understand that you are not alone in this. The girls want to succeed, the parents want to succeed, and they will also help you succeed to the best of their ability. We also want you to understand the 5 skills that are learned by participating in the Girl Scout Cookie Program and why they're so important. Girls earn important program credits, so we want to talk about why those are so invaluable. We also will outline troop cookie manager responsibilities and discuss delegating, which is very important. We don't want you to have to do every single thing. That's too much to ask. And then we'll talk about some updates and some new features in the system and dive in to the cookie program again in that calendar order. The how is coming later. So it's not reasonable for us to expect you all to remember each place to click for each little thing today, while we're talking about something that you won't be doing until either the beginning of January or some things even after at the end of February or at the end of this cookie program. So those are the things we're going to give you the just-in-time information and training videos about. Those things, oh yeah, and those are the things that will include those email reminders and things. And then we also have a 2025 cookie updates and FAQs Google Doc, which we'll put a link in the chat in a little bit. So we talked about all of this support that we have for you, and so we've outlined it here. First, our council and our baker partner, ABC Bakers, we've produced a lot of resources that we think will answer the vast majority of the questions that you and the parents might have about the cookie program. So that includes the printed troop guide. We also have an updated and what I would call expanded troop guide, and that's available on Cookie Central, which is our new cookie hub, if you will, and we will link to that as well. We also have that FAQ page. We'll have email prompts, videos, Q&A sessions, open office hours. We'll have all kinds of things that will help you in the cookie program. 24-hour tech support from Smart Cookies is also available, and that's if you just click help on their website, this will come up. And there's also plenty of support for digital cookie. We'll have manuals and information for you, but then they also have support if you have questions beyond the materials. In addition, we have a fabulous manager of customer care and our office manager. Her name is Susan. She's often the one, but not always, but often the person who answers the telephone when you call customer care. And this is where your questions get answered the fastest and where to reach the Kims or whoever you need. We want to provide you with world-class customer service, and that includes being able to take care of things at midnight. as you know, coming up are some holidays. Our office is going to be closed for the better part of 2 full weeks. And so by contacting customer care and only customer care, that lets us know we have a customer relationship management system that funnels all of the requests to places. So Kim and I can not only see the requests that have been funneled to the cookie program, but if Susan is going to actually take her vacation, like we all kind of should, and not be funneling those questions to us, we can also look at the main mailbox and see, oh, this hasn't been taken care of yet, and we can pull it into our mailbox and take care of it. So what we would ask is that you please contact customer care. On that email, please do not carbon copy other staff members. We're not asking you to hide it from them. We just don't want it on that email. If you need to copy your membership manager, she will be able to see it in our funnel system that we talked about. But if you need them to see it right then, please forward it to them after you've sent it to customer care. If we see an email that says Kim, customer care, Susan, your True Cookie manager or whatever, if we see a bunch of different people on it, we're not going to know who did or didn't take care of it. So please, and we also, I'm in a situation where I have an 87-year-old dad at home. You can hear already that my voice is not great. My husband had a heart attack about 6 weeks ago, so I may not always be right in front of my Outlook email box, but someone knows that there's an email coming through customer care. It might be Kim. It might be something that Susan can answer on her own because we've been providing her with all kinds of information. It might be something that Kim needs to forward to the baker or to GSUSA, and we do that through the customer care email. Please also include specifics. Again, we might be checking it from the hospital. We might be checking it from at midnight. And so every specific that you could share will help. Your name, the troop number, a good phone number for you, exactly what's going on. So if you tell us, I'm checking my roster and I have too many girls. Super. So who shouldn't be there? What's your name? What troop number are you talking about? And if there is a narrative of what you want us to do or your specific request or question. Sally is now meeting with troop 444. Please put her in that troop. Just any information you can give us, the more the better. And then any specific time constraints. If you have, something coming up and we absolutely need to get to it a little sooner than we would have otherwise, we'll do our best to accommodate. We do, however, want your questions. We want your feedback. We want your suggestions. And we want to know if you need things. Please ask, and please do it by contacting customer care. Again, that is our relationship management system. So we've got all the questions in there. Susan manages it. And as soon as we see a question twice, we update information or we send out an email or we update our website. So we do use those. We keep track of them and count them and treat them like gold because we do love to get your feedback. So more support comes in some updates and some new features. So you'll see here we have the cookie program guide for the troops and for the families. We also have this expanded guide, which we talked about, which is yellow. This one is in our new website called Cookie Central, which we'll look at in a second. Then we have a troop user guide for smart cookies and a separate guide for troop cookie managers for digital cookie. And those are all available on our friendly neighborhood, Cookie Central. So this website, Cookie Central, has an updated pretty much everything. You can find all your guides, tools, information, and you also are welcome to take a look at it. And if you think that something should be added, let customer care know what should be added, which section is missing, or any of that stuff. We do want to know because we do want this to be a hub for you and for everything that you need. You'll notice that there is a pink arrow on the slide, and where there are pink arrows, I've asked Kim H, version 2.0, the upgrade, to add a link in the chat. So those links will be available for you there. So Girl Scouts sell cookies for lots of different reasons. And there are many benefits to doing that. They learn skills, They earn troop funds. You can see here, each troop earned an average of $1,390 last year. Service units also get proceeds. They earned an average of $275 last year. Girls can earn program credits. They can earn up to $870 in program credits, and these are not optional. These happen in addition to their other rewards. They also get rewards and patches. We have all kinds of fun things this year. We've got a cotton candy machine. There's an exclusive Build-A-Bear, all kinds of fun stuff, and your girls are going to love it. And then, of course, all of the cookie proceeds stay local and help fund all the activities that Girl Scouts provides to girls in our area. Okay, gonna take a quick sip here. Thank you for your patience. So our cookie lineup is shown here. The cookies will be $6 again this year. There are several varieties that are vegan. So you'll see those with the green circle next to them. They're all kosher and halal certified, and they have sustainable palm oil. And the new things are, first, there's a pink arrow so that we have an allergen flyer. You're welcome to print out if you'd like to have it at your booth or on a clipboard if your girl's taking orders with her order form. This allergen flyer will show you which cookies are made in a plant that has peanuts also processed in it, or if there are actually peanuts in it. So it gives you all kinds of great information about all 9 of the cookie varieties. So again, Kim's going to link to that in the chat. And then an announcement that this is going to be 2025 is the last opportunity for the Toastier cookie. It will be going away after the end of the 2025 cookie program, and there will be a replacement in 2026. I have no idea even what the flavor profile is all about. So, I mean, it could be, peppermint, or well, probably won't be mint. That was a silly example, but it could be, I don't know, snickerdoodle or something. We have no idea what it is, but as soon as we're allowed to share it with you, we will. And again, Carrie might be on the call, so we can bug her a little bit about it, but it would only be just a little friendly nudge. So speaking of our partner, ABC, it stands for America's Best Cookies, easy to remember. They have lots and lots of facilities. We have had zero problem with getting cookies when we need them. There are double backups for ingredients and packaging components. Lots and lots of brands use them. Kellogg's uses them. Wendy's uses them to bake their buns. So they've got all kinds of, again, factories, but also their distribution system is just above reproach. They get things to people. They've got a nationwide network of drivers and other individuals that they contract out and stuff. So we have no question that we'll be getting our cookies this year. So cookies are the product that we use to have the Girl Scout cookie program and the entrepreneurship opportunities. And I wanted to address some things that are out in the marketplace. Some of those things are GSUSA licensed products. Some of them are also, some products out there are not licensed. So this is about the licensed products that has GSUSA's permission to sell them. They have licensed some cookie names, some cookie shapes, the Girl Scouts logo, and they've licensed those out, and they retain the funds, GSUSA. These are not for local receipt. These are for national infrastructure. And GSUSA has said that they will not license any cookie outside of the cookie program. So you won't compete with cookies. And then GSUSA does not allow the licensees to launch any cookie flavored snacks during the cookie season. They can't control when they sell through their merchandise, but that they won't launch a new product during cookie season. And I've listed out some of these and given photographs of some. Dairy Queen had cookie blizzards. IHOP this past year just had those Thin Mint pancakes, and I just loved those. There's also shoes and those toy cookie booths and makeup and all kinds of stuff. And these products, they complement the cookie program by keeping the Girl Scout cookies and the Girl Scout cookie flavors top of mind with customers. And there is a lot of competition out there. Competitors of Girl Scout cookies include things like other cookies. I mean, the ones pictured here seem pretty similar to Girl Scout cookies. But also there's other packaged snacks, and then there's fresh snacks, other foods, other family expenses, because there are more expenses and higher expenses now. But another competitor is grocery pickup and delivery. People go through, Walmart delivery, Albertsons has delivery. Some of the DoorDashes have delivery of groceries. So those are opportunities for people to not walk past the cookie booth. So we want to make sure that we are all the places and, of course, addressing this type of competition. And we're going to do that with our marketing and positioning. So every single cookie-related communication this year is going to include reasons beyond the cookies themselves for people to support your Girl Scout. We'll be emphasizing the skills, the adventures, and then ultimately the impacts that it has on girls' lives and their communities. And people out there want to buy Girl Scout cookies. They want to support the girls. And to me, that's an important thing to know, because it's over, I want to say 85 to 90%, but it's the number one reason that people don't purchase any Girl Scout cookies in a season is because nobody asked them. So we will be finding new places to ask them. That includes new booth partners that we're working on, but also new kinds of booth partners. So, we saturated pretty much the grocery market. We're already at Albertsons, already at Walmart. So as people are getting groceries delivered, they might not be getting their visit to the eye doctor delivered. That's something they have to go do at the eye doctor. So we've been talking to all kinds of different businesses to see about getting new booth partners. So we've talked about the cookies themselves, and we have one bunch of specific information about the gluten-free cookie. This is the caramel chocolate chip. We only get one shipment of these cookies. Only once can we order, and that already took place in October. And so we ordered more than we did in 2023. That year we sold out, and we don't want to sell out before the girls are done needing them. So what's going to happen is girls should only take orders from folks who specifically request it. So the cookie is on our menu, if you will, but it's not on the order card. That cookie is not on the order card because we want girls to only sell it to people who specifically request it. Then when the orders come in, the initial orders, when girls turn in their order forms, we will prioritize the orders that are on the girls' order cards. So orders that have already been paid for, orders that customers are expecting, that's what we're going to focus on as we're delivering out the caramel chocolate chip. Those will have the priority. In 2023, even though we ran out pretty early on, we were able to fill every single girl order and then give every troop that requested them got some at the initial order. Some of those orders had to be reduced from the troops, but every troop got some. So what we're saying then is that booth extras may fall short of what troops request. Again, we're hoping not, because we did order a significant amount more than 2023. So hopefully we'll have some, but again, only take orders for those if someone requests it. Then when they're at the booth, or if they're in your inventory and girls go door to door, then they can sell them however they wish. So we talked about all of the cookie earnings staying local. There are proceeds for troop funds. That's on the next slide. We'll look at that in depth. And then it funds service unit activities. So World Thinking Day, if your service unit does volunteer awards or participates in a parade. And then it also, the cookie program funds Girl Scout programs. So that's everything else that the council provides. The troop proceeds are shown here on the slide. So troops can earn up to 85 cents per package of cookies. So a package is most people would call it a box, but we're calling it a package now to the best of our ability, because many of them they come in plastic wrap and not in a box. So one package, there are 12 of those in a case, which would be a carton. Each variety has 12 in a carton and case. So here it says PGA of 500 plus packages equals 85 cents per package. And what that means is that your per girl average, which is the number of packages sold, divided by the number of girls participating. So if you go into Smart Cookies and you see that there are 6 girls who they paid their registration, but they don't really come to stuff, they are not going to count against you if they don't send out any emails or don't sell any cookies. So don't worry about having a few extra girls in there. It's just that we want to make sure that each girl is in there. So these are some of the things that your troop proceeds can do. So many different ways you can use it. You can do troop travel, you can troop camping. You can also, we have some great properties that you can use. You can rent them out in full or partially, which is really great. You can do field trips or really cool one-of-a-kind experiences like an overnight at the zoo or something like that. Also Girl Scout traditions and ceremonies, then hire award projects, things like that. We also, in summer of 2026, so not this coming summer, but the following summer, GSUSA, we're having our national convention in Washington, D.C. So that might be something amazing for your troop to do, to be in the meetings and all of the fun. But also, I mean, what is there not to learn in Washington, D.C.? There are, dozens of museums. You guys could spend a lot of time there and really learn a lot. Then you can also supplement your camp costs for girls, or there might be some girls who want to attend camp together. It's really up to them, and we'll talk about a cookies and camp meeting in a minute. And then you can also use it to supplement camp costs or council-sponsored travel. So in those cases, we would ask, because everything is supposed to be girl-led, we would ask that the girls be presented that information and be able to vote on it. So Sally Scout is going to be going to summer camp. She sold 1,000 boxes of cookies, but still needs, $75 to get there. Troop, would you support her using money from our troop funds to do yay or nay? So that would give them the opportunity to vote on doing that. Then service unit proceeds. Service units get funds from cookies as well. They get 1 cent for every package sold. Then they get another penny per package when 70% or more of the girls registered by March 31st participate in the cookie program. So that's an easy one. Just get those girls ready to rock and roll, and they don't have to start on day 1. Troops can watch this video in a week or 2 or 3 and still participate. So there's lots of opportunities to make adjustments now. Then they'll be able to get an additional cent per package when 70% of eligible girls automatically renew their membership through the cookie program. So here are some rewards. We're really excited about our rewards card. And if you received your paperwork from your service unit cookie manager, you've already seen this. So rather than go over every single item, we're going to hit on the things that have the new burst on them. Those include, the first one is that the Embrace Possibility patch, which we call our participation patch, has been reduced down to 25 packages. I think last year it was in the neighborhood of 70 or 75 packages. This year it's down to 25. So if a girl can sell 2 cases plus 1, she gets the patch. And I'm quite certain that once she sells the first half dozen, she's going to have gotten so many yeses and be so excited. Those 2 cases plus 1 are not going to last her very long. The next new thing is that we have a crossover patch. So girls who earned the patch during the fall product program and sell 375 packages of cookies will get this personalized crossover patch. We're excited about that. And then we also have, if you see down in the bottom right, the bar patch. So that's 100 plus, 200 plus. It tells you how many cookies the girls sold. They typically put it right under the participation patch. And this year, instead of starting it at 200, we're going to start it at 100. Again, so we are incentivizing girls to try it. We want more girls to learn more skills. We would rather have 1,000 girls sell 10 packages than 10 girls sell 1,000 packages. We want more participation because we want, again, more girls to have and experience those skills. So here's another new thing about rewards, and that is that Kim H, version 2.0, the upgrade, created a Google Doc, I think it is, about the cookie rewards. This talks about all of the rewards and information about the new Build-A-Bear, for example, and information about the patches and the cotton candy machine and all of the goodies. It has measurements and sizes and additional information. We did get a lot of questions about reward specifics last year, and so we think this will be a valuable tool as girls are interested in what they want to earn. There is some information here about the Build-A-Bear, and again, it's a custom Build-A-Bear and not available to any other group. It's exclusive to girls selling cookies. It is a rainbow panda bear, and we've partnered with Build-A-Bear so that they can offer a heart ceremony and a stuffing event over on 2 different weekends, one in Boise at the mall and the other in Pocatello at our office at the mall. So it'll be 2 great events. Girls don't have to go to it, but it is included in their Build-A-Bear reward if they want to. Then girls can use their program credits for summer camp. We've got several camp properties and lots of camp sessions going on. Your guidebook should be heading towards you. It should be in your mailbox somewhere between, we think, Christmas and New Year's is when we hope that it'll be there. We have Camp Echo in Boise, which is mostly a day camp. Camp Alice Pittenger in McCall on the beautiful lake. It's wonderful. And then we have Camp Tam in Swan Valley near the Tetons, and you'll want to mark your calendar for February 3rd. That is when registration opens, and you'll want to be there early because sessions do sell out. Then with other cookie proceeds, girls can go to, again, we talked about camp. They can have their leadership experience programming. There are all kinds of badges and patches and even destinations, which are typically individual girl travel with a group that's pre-planned for them. Then we also have an incentive trip coming up for the girls this year, and that is the Disney World incentive trip for 2025. We are looking at somewhere around June 21st that week, and it'll be for the same ages as last year, so girls will have completed the 5th grade and sold at least 750 packages during this year. And we also have the availability for troop travel on the Disney trip. So you would be going on the same days, same travel information, but then you would be able to go as a troop. And the outline is here. It's still $2,000 per traveler, and then 4 girls to a room, 2 adults to a room. And every girl going still has to maintain the requirements, so needs to be going into 5th, have completed 5th grade, and then also must sell 750 packages. On December 16th, so that's this coming Monday, and there's a pink arrow for a link. Please do check our events calendar. They're having a session on December 16th specific to the Disney trip, and they'll have all the information there where you can ask questions about the Disney trip. It's going to be awesome. All right, so here's how to get started as a troop cookie manager. You'll see highlighted is to be registered for the 2025 membership year. That is the base minimum beginning of what we do with cookies. And that's for any girl that wants to sell cookies has to be a registered member. Any adult that wants to volunteer has to be registered and background checked. So now is a great time to get all of that stuff, get all your housekeeping taken care of, so that when we're ready to rock and roll on January 10th, all that stuff is ready to go. We need 1 individual in each troop to sign or fill out an online troop cookie manager contract. There's a pink arrow, so Kim will put a link in the chat. And also it's linked on our website, in the service unit meeting agenda, and in the council newsletter. We've plastered it as many places as we can think of. But we want and need each troop to have 1 troop cookie manager. Then we will manually add you to Smart Cookies once you complete the contract. We have to change data in a couple of different places and then manually add you to Smart Cookies. And then if you're ready very soon, you'll receive an email at around 3 a.m. on December 17th with the information on how to log into Smart Cookies, how to complete your volunteer profile, and that sort of thing. So in red, and this I think is the only red box we've got in the whole training program, so this is probably the most important thing. A troop must have a troop cookie manager assigned to participate in the program. The sooner they sign the contract, the sooner they and their girls will be uploaded to access the cookie systems. So a troop needs a cookie manager, a service unit needs a cookie manager, and then we move forward from there. So when you serve as a troop cookie manager, you are the captain of your troop's cookie team. This does not mean that you're doing everything by yourself. In fact, we very much prefer that you not be doing everything by yourself. And we'll look at that in another slide or two. One of the first things you do is distribute the program materials to the family. So you should receive it from your service unit cookie manager, and then you distribute it to your troops, and then to the girls in your troop. We ask then that you hold a cookies and camp parent meeting in early January. Make sure the girls know about their local cookie rally. That's a huge one. Go over important dates with your family. Give them troop specific information if you have, a tip on a specific booth, that it gets really extra windy at a specific Albertson store because of the way the building faces. Anything that's local and nearby and troop specific will be helpful. And then again, get the girls excited. We want them to have fun while they learn in this program. And then for yourself, make sure that you practice some self-care, set boundaries, maybe get takeout or let someone else in the household help out a little extra. Delegate. So ask for help when you need it for things like deliveries or booths or storage or going to the bank or any of that stuff. We have two cool updates for you that should make your life a little bit easier. First, permission slips. So this is the girl parents' permission for the girls to participate. That is now in digital cookie, so they will complete that automatically. So you don't have to have it on paper or keep it. And the second is that there is a financial responsibility clause that's pre-printed on every single receipt in the new receipt books. So you don't have to, that was the back part of the permission slip was the parents' financial responsibility. And now, again, you have their receipt on, or their signature on every single receipt. So you don't need to worry about collecting that either. Those were things that were typically collected at the cookies and camp meeting. And then the last thing that we ask of you on this slide is to regularly update Smart Cookies with sales information so that for two reasons. One, so that girls can go in and know what their sales are in digital cookie, but then also so that they know and you know what their amount due is. So how much money do they owe the troop? Those two things are important, and it's good to keep track of it as you go. If you save it for too long, it is possible that it just becomes a giant pile, and then it's not fun anymore. So here's some specifics about the cookies and camp meeting. Set and communicate deadlines with them. Make sure you share your troop cookie manager information, that you share customer care information. And that should also be on their family guide, all their customer care information. It's blurring it for me, but it's on the back of the family guide. Then please review safety measures. Safety of our girls and our volunteers is paramount to this program. If we're not going to be safe, we should not be doing it. Then review with the troop what they want to do this year. Set some goals. Make sure that the caregivers know what the goals are and agree. I think every Daisy wants to earn $1,000 in program credits. That's not even possible, but you know what I'm saying. They want to earn the highest award because they want the giant stuffy and they want 2 weeks at camp and all these things. And for many families, that is not reasonable with either their work schedule, or maybe a parent is in school, or they can't drive the kid everywhere. So make sure that the caregivers and the girls agree on the goals so that you have an accurate idea of how many cookies they need. Then, do the girls want to attend camp or Disney together? So these camp brochures should be getting to your every girl's mailbox, again, somewhere in between Christmas and New Year's. So if your cookies and camp meeting is in early January, then they should be able to say, oh, well, Lisa and Sally, they both want to go to the art camp or the cooking camp or whatever. And so they can make plans, see if they want to carpool or, work with each other to sell cookies or whatever it is. That would be great. This year, we will also be allowing girls who sign up early for camp. We'll give them the opportunity to auto apply their program credits towards their camp balance. So that'll be something so that we don't have to print the program credits and then mail them to the service unit, who gives them to the troop, who gives them to the kid, who gives them to the mom, who gives them back to the kids, give them to the troop leader. I mean, it's a big old, process. So we can auto apply those credits and save a lot of time. So we often get asked, where do I get such and such? Well, such and such comes from the baker or the council. It typically goes to the service unit managers, and then they distribute it to the troop cookie managers. It is much easier on everyone, troop cookie managers, if you attend your service unit meetings. The more attendance there, the better. That way the service unit cookie managers don't have to hunt everyone down. They'll see you at the service unit meetings and they can hand you the materials or the rewards or whatever it is. So we call this page the peacock page because our little graphic kind of reminds me of a peacock. But this is one example of how you might divvy up some of the tasks for the cookie program amongst varying volunteers. So this again is just one example of how you might do that, but there are infinite numbers of combinations of ways you can distribute the tasks. So we suggest that you have a discussion, probably during the camp cookies and camp meeting, but you can talk with volunteers and other parents. So there might be some parents who maybe aren't already the troop treasurer, but they would help out during cookies. Those folks would be helpful. Maybe there's somebody who loves spreadsheets. Maybe they would be great as the inventory coordinator. Maybe someone likes scheduling stuff, so they could be the booth coordinator. So you can determine with your troop adults how they want to divvy up the tasks. And then we've asked that one individual be coded in the system, and that's how it is in our systems, how we upload them and how we get them started. And if you want another registered volunteer to have access to smart cookies, so say you want the treasurer to be able to enter in girl payments on your site in smart cookies, what we need is for your written permission sent to customer care with the name of the person, the troop number, and what specifically you want them to have access to. I would caution you against having people giving permission for people to have full access like you have, because you have signed the contract and you are responsible for anything that they do. So my recommendation to you would be to maybe have the treasurer enter girl payments, or if there's an inventory coordinator, maybe let her access so that she can read reports. But again, it's totally up to you. We just need to have it in customer care so that we have it in writing and that we can get it coded in the systems. So we've talked a little bit about finances and treasurers and things. So for cookies, girls collect the money up front, and they do that when they're selling in person or at the time of the transaction when they're going door to door. They need to actually, you as the troop cookie manager need to write a receipt every time a girl turns in money or picks up cookies. Receipt, receipt, receipt. If there's one word for tonight, it's receipt. If the receipt is for a family taking cookies, the family accepts financial responsibility. As we talked about, the new receipt books have that contract on them. And then if the receipt is money turned in by the girl, the troop accepts financial responsibility. So the receipts could accept money and hand out cookies or receive cookies or whatever it is that you want, any transaction that you want to do, those receipts can cover it. So the troop cookie manager or the troop is responsible for cookies that are taken out of inventory if you don't have a signed receipt. So once again, receipt, receipt, receipt. Always make sure you're making regular deposits into your troop bank account. Count the cash, make sure you know what the receipt from the teller should be. Always check the receipt before you leave. And if you're at the bank already, this might be a great time to consider stocking up on some 5s and 1s because you'll have another booth slot coming or other girls going door to door and such. We are going to withdraw for your convenience 2 sets of funds from your troop bank account. So this means you don't have to come in and pay us. We'll just take it right out of your account. The first payment is 25% of the balance of the initial order cookies. So these are any cookies on your initial order, including Troop Extras, including the girl orders, all of that stuff. That will be withdrawn on February 27th. And then the remaining balance at the end of the season, so that's all the way down to April 8th, that's when the remaining balance will be withdrawn. There are more specifics in the expanded guide, which you can get on Cookie Central. So 25% of the balance due, that is a surprisingly low number typically, because that the 25% is the percent of money that's still outstanding, even after all of the cookie sales on digital cookie. So it's 25% of a smaller amount than you would think. There are times when your balance, if you look in Smart Cookies, your Troop balance might be negative. And if it's negative, that means that we won't be doing a withdrawal of the 25% on February 27th. And also on April 8th, if it's negative, that means that you've been your Troop has been selling more cookies online and receiving more online payments than cash. And so we will owe you an ACH at that time. So remaining balance will be paid to you instead of withdrawn, if that's the case. Okay, so more cookie finance information. We recommend that you find a bank or a credit union that meets your needs and doesn't charge a lot. There are bank account process guidelines on our website. You can make payments at the store if you want, or you can advise girls and their families to make payments at the store if that is most convenient for you and or them. You just need to make sure that the clerk gets all of the information. So your Troop number, and if that money's to be assigned to a specific Girl Scout, they're going to need their name to do that. If you're having an issue with the ACH, if you know what your balance is and what your ACH total is, we will email you what that amount is, and you know that it's not in your bank account, we need you to tell us so that we can make an adjustment. You can tell us how much we can withdraw at least 3 days before the ACH is due. So we have to send the file to the bank days before it's due. So again, we need you to let us know, not just, hey, Kim, I'm going to be short. It needs to be, hey, Kim, you can withdraw $250 at the time of the withdrawal. And here are some other payment arrangements. We need another week on the rest or something like that. Again, to customer care, as much information as you can, and specifically what action you want us to take. Then in May, when filling out your Troop's annual reports, the person in your Troop who does that is going to be asked for cookie receipts. So please, when you'll be keeping all of the documentation for the year, the receipts and everything. And then before May 1st or right around May 1st, you'll want to make sure you pass all that information to the individual who is doing the annual report. I have run out of voice for a moment. Kim, would you like to take on this new cool thing? Because this is actually a really fun announcement.
Yeah, sure. So this year, Digital Cookie is going to be offering easier transactions for credit cards. They will also be allowing Venmo and PayPal, both in-person sales and at your booths. In addition, Silver Sage Council is going to absorb the fees of credit cards that are incurred through Digital Cookie. So if your Troop uses Digital Cookie, you guys don't have to worry about covering those fees. We will take care of them. Also, another reason to use Digital Cookie is if you use another payment processor like Square, they could cause a volunteer or a parent to receive a 1099 tax form for their 2025 income tax. Whereas if you use Digital Cookie, it's not linked to an individual's account. It's sent to the council for all of those fees. I did have a question that came through at one of the other events about Venmo and PayPal. So what it'll do is when you've got Digital Cookie and you're accepting your payment for that, it'll show a QR code that you can flip that device around, show to your customer. They can scan the QR code, and then they finish the process using their Venmo or PayPal on their own device. You don't have to have a registered Venmo account or PayPal account for your troop in order to use these systems through Digital Cookie. In addition, another super exciting thing that I know like we're going to get cheers about is in the booth process. So when you're at your booth and you take a credit card, all of that personal information for your customer is going to be optional. We recommend getting some of that information, like your customer's name, just in case there's an issue with the transaction, but that information will be optional and it'll be a lot faster to process those transactions.
That's awesome. Thanks, Kim, for all that good news. We're excited. And I have some voice, so I'll continue. Thanks. Okay, so we've got a few more money matters and an adorable photo here. So counting and agreeing on the amounts and the quantities is really important when you're counting for a delivery or counting to swap in and out of a booth. And here's why the time used for counting is a wise investment. If you're at if you're at the top tier of proceeds, that means you'll have 85 cents per box. If you miscount one package, you'll need to sell 7 more packages to recoup that money. Think of it this way. If you lose track of a case of cookies, that's 84 packages of cookies that your troop needs to sell to recoup that money for the lost package. So again, the time spent counting is well worth it. We also recommend, and we've talked about this before, record those girl transactions in Smart Cookies regularly so you know exactly who owes what, and the girls know exactly where they stand with the cookie sale. And that includes not only girl transactions, but also the cookie booth divider. Again, making sure that every girl knows where she is. Also, every penny that the girls earn during this cookie program belongs to the Girl Scouts in our council. So there will not be any theft tolerated. Authorities will be contacted. So please do not try to abscond with cookies or cash. Having said that, we understand that that volunteers and staff and all of that, and the families that are working with us are human beings. And sometimes they miss deadlines or sometimes they make errors. And we understand that too. So please don't feel like we're going to call the police on everyone. In the last 2 years, we've called them on exactly one person. So just know that it's a possibility if we suspect that you are stealing. We would ask, though, and that's not the next tab, but the one underneath, speak up. If there's a problem, if you're having a problem with a parent who's either not turning in funds or having a problem, please let customer care or someone know. We can only help you with issues that we know about. So if you've got 100 extra packages at the end of the season, we can help you find places to sell them. We have more options as the clock ticks. The options fall to the wayside. So we have more options to help you the sooner you let us know. Okay, so please do contact customer care. We all want to help you. That's another item here too. If your variety mix is not ideal, so your variety mix is in the troop guide, and it is a percentage of each different cookie variety that we suggest you order for your troop to have for extras or for booths or what have you. It's very accurate and hasn't changed much at all. But we would recommend that you use ours to estimate what you need and not Google this information because it's probably not correct. Different councils and especially different areas have very different cookie purchase patterns. So we are a very chocolate heavy area. So it would be important for you to get your mix right to use the percentages that we have in the guide. Then I also wanted to share that you are empowered to take action. So again, if there's a family that's not responding, you can withhold additional cookies from them or until the debt is paid and have them wait for that. You can also provide them with orders that have been prepaid through Digital Cookie, but no additional cookies for walkabouts. So you've got some options here. As the Troop Cookie Manager, you really are managing the program for your troop. All right, and then one fun thing we have here is the Operation Cookie. So this is our donation program. We started it mid-season last year, and we have had nothing but positive excitement about it. The virtual cookie share is our council program, so you'll see it in Smart Cookies as virtual cookie share. They'll be donated to military, so current military and veterans. And we handle the logistics and deliver it from the cupboard. So you don't have to take inventory of those cookies. That's why it's called virtual. When customers say, oh, just keep the change, we cannot have just cash donations. They have to be converted to cookies purchased in order to take those funds. It may happen a lot because people might give you a $20 bill and say, oh, I need 3 packages. Well, great, you're going to get $2 change. And they may say, keep the change. In the more distant past, they got 4 packages for a 20 or 5 packages for a 20, and this year it's 3. So they will have change. It's not evenly divisible. So if you want to, you can have your girl say, oh, it's only, $30 for 6, or $30 for 5 packages. There's different ways to go about that, but just understand that there will be some folks saying keep the change, and that is something those extra $2 needs to be converted to cookies before the end of the sale. Then we also can't solicit donations at cookie booths. So we can't ask for any money. We can't have a donation jar, anything like that. If you have a box up there, it should be clearly labeled as donating cookie packages to military organizations or to Operation Cookie or something like that. We can't just ask for cash. We do suggest that you have create a display to tell customers who is benefiting from the donation. If you have a great story, for example, Kim is married to a veteran, my dad is a veteran, and I have veterans in the family. Most girls, I would bet you, have a veteran in their family tree. So it's great to have a picture of grandpa and, that kind of thing. That girl's story there is great. We also have a picture of a tally poster in a future slide that tracks the number of packages, which branch is best. So they have little star stickers by Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, or what have you. So that was a fun way to be interactive in the booth and let people hooray for the branch of the military that they like the best. There is more detail in our expanded guide that's online. Okay, so now we're ready to take a look at the program via the timeline. So this is, as the calendar moves, this is how the cookie program rolls out. Okay, so from now until January 10th, this is going to be phase 1 of the preparation for the cookie program. So this is when troop cookie managers, that's you, that's the TCM, they ask troop volunteers to help out and be part of Team Cookie. Then the troop cookie managers attend cookie training given by the service unit cookie manager, or right here, right now, you are attending the council training session. And then next, you'll hold the cookies in camp meeting for your parents. Volunteers, so that's you also, you'll start receiving emails, welcome emails, so that you can access Smart Cookies on December 17th and Digital Cookie on December 20th. And then troop cookie managers will evaluate and adjust their troop roster in Smart Cookies. Again, if there are extra girls, that's okay, but you want to make sure that every girl who is in your troop is in there. Please note, girls cannot move from troop to troop after January 1st. So what we mean by that is in Smart Cookies and Digital Cookies, so first we already have 2 computer systems, they're talking to each other, and if girls have sales and amounts of cookies due and cookies to deliver to grandma and all these things, we can't move them to another troop. That's spaghetti at that point. We can't pull each piece of linguine out and get it all straightened out. So girls cannot move from troop to troop after January 1st in the systems. Families, we want them to attend the cookies and camp meetings that you hold. This is again where girls can set goals, receive materials, and that sort of thing. And then families and caregivers will receive their email on January 2nd. to access digital cookie. And we recommend that girls start now, reaching out to friends and family. This is a great time over the holidays. If they've got folks, a second cousin who they know on Facebook, but maybe they don't have their email address, now is a great time over the holidays to get those email addresses. Then from January 2nd to 10th, that's time that girls have to set up their digital cookie site, take some time, practice their pitch, write their story, take a video, that sort of thing. And then girls will have fun and practice skills with their troop and at their service unit hosted cookie rally. So most of the cookie rallies will be held between January 2nd and January 10th. Not all of them, but most. All right, then phase 2, and this is January 10 through 27. Again, all of these dates are outlined in your troop guide, and most of them are also in the family guide. During this initial order period, this is when girls take orders on their glossy order card and collect money up front. So they'll need their shiny order card, a writing utensil. I would recommend something flat like a clipboard to take with them around, and their money envelope so they can collect money. Digital cookie will be open for shipped orders and for girl delivery. For both of these things, girls should be sure to set their customers' expectations. So what we mean by that is they won't have cookies until the week after Valentine's Day. So we want them to make sure that there aren't customers who place their order on January 10th and are calling the council on January 20th, where's my cookies? We want the customer to be comfortable and understand that it'll be mid-February before the cookies get there. Is that okay? Of course, they'll say yes, they want cookies, but now they'll know that it won't be for a while to get them. During this period, social media links are limited to personal pages. So you can have your girls' digital cookie link on your personal Facebook page or whatever social media you use, and in a neighborhood page. So this would be a group or a page for something like Meadow Estates or Maplewood Hills or something, but not Idaho Falls Parents or Treasure Valley Buy and Sell. And speaking of buy and sell, no buy sell trade, no Amazon, no classified ads, no eBay or Marketplace or any of that stuff. It's just on your personal page and your very close neighborhood. Girls during this time should also, they're collecting it, so they should also be bringing it to the troop meetings to give to the troop cookie managers and turning it in. Each transaction should be recorded with a receipt, receipt, receipt. I would start saying it 3 times every time. After girls bring in the payments, it should also be recorded in the finance tab in Smart Cookies for tracking. Again, that's part of the regular, whether it's weekly or daily receipt recording and troop booth separations that should be taking place in the system. And then troop cookie managers can place planned orders from the cupboard starting on January 31st. We have another thing to talk about the planned orders in just a minute. During this period, one of the biggest questions we get is, can I take my girl's order card to work? The answer to that is absolutely. Adults in her life can take it to work. They will also be collecting the money. So if you have, Aunt Kim wants to take it to work and your dad and grandpa, they can take it to work on different days. That's fine. You can have her make a copy or print one out from our website. Yes, she can take orders. But what we're asking is that the girl participates. We want the girl to do. So if she can make a sign that goes with her order card and they can put it up in the cafeteria, or if they can't come to ask in person, maybe they could do their pitch or create thank you notes or deliver the cookies. Any part that the girl can participate in, we want them to do that because we are passionate about the skills that girls learn and ultimately those outcomes. So then the initial order period ends. The order should be submitted. So all your troops orders, and here's some things that your initial order should include. Again, all of the orders from the girls, and they're in color order cards. We recommend shooting you a picture and texting you, but they should have it to you by or before January 27th. And so all of those orders on the order card need to be in your initial order. Parents can enter them directly into digital cookies, but that's only if you tell them they should. Otherwise, they won't know to do that. Your initial order card should also include all of the girl delivered orders from digital cookie. So they will automatically move from digital cookie once they're approved. They will probably, depending on what day, they will probably appear on the initial order. We will be having more videos and information about this specific time frame. But you'll also need all of the cookies that you plan for the first 2 weeks of cookie booths. And then all of the cookies needed for girls who want to take more orders before the cookies arrive. So again, you're placing your order on January 27th. You'll get your cookies approximately 3 weeks later. So you might have girls who have big goals. They want to go to Disney and all of that stuff. So again, when you're measuring out for girls, you'll want to do that in the percentages that we recommend in the guidebook. Unless something order altering is going on. So for example, if I was in Florida and they were having some kind of lemon convention, I would want to make sure to have extra lemon cookies. But otherwise, you want to stick with the percentages. That is time and again, the percentages that we have sales in our council. Then once you've ordered all of the cookies, the next screen is going to allow you to order rewards. And there is an early reward this year. It is a really cute panda belt bag. And that's something that the girls can wear when they're out selling cookies. That could be their money pouch or their order pouch or what have you. And each girl who sells 350 packages are eligible for a belt bag. So in addition to being an early order, we are intending that it is a instant order. So we want girls to get those as soon as we possibly can. But again, those are not automatically submitted. You must create and submit an order for those. We want you to feel like you can order confidently. We have thousands of booth spots. We actually just were able to request, there's a special new format to request Walmart, and we just got that taken care of today. Yay, Kim number 2. Grocery Outlet is participating. There are some new grocery outlet stores here in the Treasure Valley. Fred Meyer, Albertsons, all of our partners are continuing to work with us. You will know which booths you're scheduled for before the initial order is required to be in. So we'll be using the booth scheduler on January 19th, 22nd, and 25th, and then your initial orders due on the 27th. Also, for confidence, we want to make sure that you are ordering enough cookies for those first 2 weeks of booths because there are some potential issues. Now, again, our transportation partner, Airvan, and our cookie partner, ABC, they have provided us all of the cookies we've needed on time and in full for the 2 years that we've been working with them. Well, Airvan we've been working with longer, but ABC specifically. And there could still be issues. So ABC has said and verified that they have double backups for every single ingredient. So they have double backups of flour, double backups of cocoa and wheat and ink, even their boxes and plastic and all of that stuff. And as of this very minute, we are not aware of any major issues. But again, there could be a snowstorm, there could be a trucker strike. Not that that's happening, I haven't heard anything, but there are things that can happen and do happen during the cookie season. So what our commitment to you is that we will pivot and do everything we can. You know, if we have to, I've said if I have to bake the cookies myself, I will, but that is not going to be necessary this time because we've got ABC on our side. So we're excited about that. Again, page 7 of the quick guide or 27 of the expanded guide has our percentages. And again, it varies by council. So do use Google and Pinterest and stuff for inspiration, but not for answers. Answers come on Cookie Central. Now, we recommend that you submit your order as late as you are comfortable on the evening of January 27th. We're not asking you to stay up till midnight, but we are asking you to wait because there are often last minute Lucy Scouts who sometimes submit things later. Maybe their aunt called and needs another case of Thin Mints or what have you. So when you submit the order, then that's the last, and or if it 11:59 p.m. rolls around on January 27th, Troop Cookie managers at that moment are locked out of the initial order. Now, they can still go into Smart Cookies, they can still enter girl payments, they can still run reports and do all the things, but you are locked out at 11:59 p.m. If you need to make adjustments on January 28th, this is when you will contact your service unit cookie manager, and they can help you add or change things. The council will also review all of the orders, and we'll contact you if we find outliers. So if someone is way out of whack on their quantity or way out of whack on their mix of cookie varieties, we will reach out. The council deadline to submit all of the initial orders is the morning of January 30th. So when January 30th rolls around, even I can't help you. That's a place where you wait until the 31st and place a planned order for the cupboard. And so your cookies for your initial order will be delivered to your service unit, and then anything after that will be picked up at the cupboard. Okay, then girls, this used to be called the goal getter period. And this is still a time for girls who are, going bananas and wanting to meet their goals. This is a great time for them to continue taking orders before the cookies arrive. They will still collect the money up front. If they choose to use their in-color order card, we recommend that you draw like maybe a Sharpie line underneath the last order that was on their initial order so that you know where the next set of orders starts. That would be my recommendation. Girls should not take additional orders for caramel chocolate chip during this period. That's because the initial orders have been submitted, and we'll have to sort out who gets what and all of that stuff. And so if they take orders for caramel chocolate chip during this period, we don't know if we have enough. So please, please, please do not take orders for this cookie. It will be available though on digital cookie. So until it'll be available for digital cookie, period. But if you need to turn off delivery, you can turn off delivery settings if necessary. During this time period, digital cookie will remain open for shipped orders and girl delivery. All the flavors will remain available through the entire sale. And then social media links, same thing. Still limited to personal pages or your neighborhood. So again, Maplewood Hills and not Idaho Falls Moms or Treasure Valley buy sell trade or whatever. Similarly, no buy sell trade, Amazon Marketplace classifieds and all of that. And no purchased advertising. So there have been purchases of ads on Facebook and that kind of thing. You don't need to buy ads, just link from your personal page. So there's some more information about this social media do's and don'ts on page 4 of the quick guide or page 9 of the expanded guide. During this period, again, girls continue collecting money up front, so they should continue to bring money to the troop meetings, and the troop cookie manager or any designated member of the troop cookie team should continue also making those bank deposits and issuing receipts. Okay, then the cookies arrive. That should be between February 14th and 20th. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. You'll use Smart Cookies to schedule the pickup, and make sure you bring a large enough vehicle for picking up from your service unit or from AirVan. Some service units get their cookies picked up at AirVan, so there's take that as you will, and that make sure you have plenty of help with you. This can be a very physically demanding job. And then make sure you distribute each girl's orders and encourage them to deliver it to their customers promptly. Again, back in the prior portions of the season, they were setting expectations and making sure that people were aware that it was going to be mid-February before the cookies came. And then always separate the cookies by variety. Count and recount, make sure everything matches, and then start loading into the vehicle. So you don't want to be, you've counted the Thin Mints and your husband starts putting them in the car, and then you start counting the adventurefuls, and no. Just count each pile, count, recount, sign the receipt, and then load it into the vehicle. Then, again, cookies are here, and we have something called cookie cupboards. And what that is a usually rather small, but it is a local location that has a large stash of cookies to help you restock. So we work with them every single week to make sure that they have, to the best of our ability, information about they have enough cookies and enough handouts. So if they'll have extra 5 for 5 tickets, or they'll have extra flyers or other information that you might need. And it's terrific. You can place your orders in Smart Cookies. It's called a planned order. And you don't necessarily have to pick up from the closest cupboard to you. So if your home is closer to the Nampa cupboard, but you work in Boise by the Boise cupboard, you can place orders in either cupboard. What our ask is to you is that you place it in the right cupboard that you're going to be using. A new thing, so I forgot my new starburst on this part, but we try very, very hard to get the right cookies in the right places at the right times. So we have, let's say we have 9 varieties of cookies, which we do, and say we have 10 cupboards, which we will. And so that's 90 decisions, right? And then you multiply that by 4 weeks. That's 360 decisions that we have to make. And I promise I won't get them all right. I'm great with Excel. Kim's even better with Excel. And I promise we won't make 90 guesses correctly. So to ensure that we have enough cookies in all of our cupboards, our ask of you, the True Cookie Manager, is to think a little bit about the cookie booths that you secured, how many girls are really participating and what their goals look like and stuff like that, and place all of your planned orders in Smart Cookies to the cupboard that you plan to use by February 23rd at noon. What we will do then, and when you have those, when you place those orders, schedule them with pickup dates of February 27, March 6, and March 13. If that works for you, doesn't matter necessarily if it's those dates exactly, but that'll help us because we have cookies not only at all of the cupboards, but we also have cookies at a warehouse with Airvan. And then ABC Baker has cookies too. So we need to know on February 23rd whether we're going to be ordering more and which varieties from ABC, which we're going to have sending around to Airvan, which we're going to be pulling from the Boise cupboard over to Idaho Falls or what have you. We do great cookie shuffles every week. And so we want to make sure that we are behaving responsibly and not over ordering cookies and not under ordering cookies. We don't want you or any of your girls to miss their goal because I didn't have enough information to make the right call to get the right cookies in the right places. So we'll have more training and information about this. But again, you can place orders in Smart Cookies to the future. It doesn't have to be what you're picking up tomorrow morning or the next day or what have you. And the other side of that coin is you are not obligated to take the cookies that you put plan orders in. If you decide that you need more or less than that, you can edit your planned orders. You can place additional planned orders. So you're not married to buying those cookies. It just gives us an idea, again, of those 360 decisions. Try to make some of them better. Kim, did you have any other thing you wanted to add about that?
I mean, you covered a lot of it. The main thing I just wanted to reiterate and remind is they are estimates. And it's primarily to make sure that you have enough cookies to fill your booths for those last couple of weeks. And like Kim said, to make sure that we can get what we need where it's needed. We have kind of a short time frame to make sure that if we do need to order more cookies from ABC, to make sure that those are order is placed, they're on a truck, the truck gets to us in time, and then we can get them to the correct cupboards before the sale ends. That time frame this year is just super short. So we are asking that, you know, you do place those orders as soon as you know what you're going to need, or as soon as you know what you think you might need. Again, they're estimates, and you're not married to those numbers either. You can edit those orders in Smart Cookies once you get to your cupboard. If you know, placed an order for 15 Thin Mints and 10 Caramel Delights, and you decide that, you know what, I don't need that many cases of Thin Mints. I only want 10 cases of the Thin Mints, 10 cases of the Caramel Delights, and maybe 5 cases of the peanut butter patties. Like, you can switch it up at your cupboard. Just, they may or may not have exactly the variety you need if you didn't put it in that order. But your cupboards are also there to help, you know, manage those orders and make sure that you're getting what you need, and it is, you know, in the amount you need as well.
Great, thank you so much. So sometimes cupboards have special instructions. They might have a door code, or you know, make sure I put the dog away before you come into my garage, or whatever it is. So this year we're going to have those details compiled for you in a special cupboard detail page. So it may have the gate code, a unit number, all of that stuff available for you. And the spreadsheet we'll keep it as accurate as we possibly can. But again, those details will also be in Smart Cookies, so you can look at what those are at the cupboard. And I did mention that we are planning to have some extra cupboards this year. We are very excited that an individual in Oregon has agreed to have a cupboard. We also we'll have a new CUNA cupboard, and I think we have one more, but I don't remember. Kim, do you remember what the other one is?
Emmett's.
Oh, yes, right, Emmett with Tara Lynn, that's right. Okay, can't forget I forgot that one. All right, so next, after the cookie cupboards slide, we've got planned orders. So we just talked about all of this from memory. So here's your slide. So we have a pretty small window to get cookies. Remember, they you know, come from different parts of the country, mostly close. ABC does have other warehouses here in the Northwest and West especially, but we have cookies when they get here. Here doesn't mean to our office. Here means to Airvan. So they need to count and receive them. Then they need to look at the orders that we place to the 10 different cupboards that we have. Then they need to separate them. You know, they do the same thing, separate, count, sign off, and then they have to schedule drivers, load the trucks, get them out to, you know, a 4.5-hour drive to Idaho Falls. So there's a lot that goes into getting each variety of cookies into your cupboard. So again, the best you can tell us, your best estimate is super helpful. So, you know, when you are looking at on, what day was that? February 23rd. You know, take a look at how your first weekends of booths went. Was there a pandemonium and everybody just wanted all the cookies? Was it a little bit slow? Was it bad weather, but it'll probably be better next week? Those kinds of things. And then what booths does your troop have coming up? Are they at a bunch of really busy Albertson stores, or are you going to be at a Fred Meyer, or whatever it is? Think about what those booths are and what your girls' level of excitement is as you're placing those planned orders. And then again, you can edit them anytime, including as you're driving up to, well, not while you're driving, please, but as you're approaching that cupboard. You can even make the change at the cupboard under most circumstances. So you've got a lot of options. There is not a one-size-fits-all formula, though. When people say, oh, how many cookies should I order? I can't tell you that. But what we can do is help you estimate, you know, the weekend 2 will be similar or slightly less than weekend 1. Weekends 3 and 4 might be a little bit less than that. You know, it really depends on what your girls' goals are. So I would add those up and look at your first 2 weekends of booths and that kind of thing. But you should always be able to get more cookies. There will also be troops that have too many cookies, that they will be wanting to share those with you, and you can transfer cookies troop to troop, even outside of your service unit, that's fine. And that's easy to do in Smart Cookies, and we will have a spreadsheet ready by February 27th that it'll be on Cookie Central, and you can see who has what to trade and who needs to trade for. So you'll be able to match up people that'll trade. In addition to those kinds of trades, towards the end of the sale, and I don't know what day exactly, but towards the end of the sale, we will allow you to trade with cupboards. So again, this is not at the beginning, not at least until after the first 2 weekends have taken place, but later in, probably week 3 and 4, you will be able to trade varieties at cupboards. We're not accepting returns. It's just exchanges for different varieties if you got the mix a little bit off. So while the cookies are here, this is a time for walkabouts. And this is a little bit different than door to door in that a girl has the cookies with her. So she's able to, it's great for instant gratification. She might do better here than with the order taking in advance. It's done by individual girls or sets of siblings, or as a troop, you can do that. But you always have to have a parent. So there is safety information in our guidebooks there. Girls, when they're doing their walkabouts, can take payments, cash, check, or credit card, or Venmo, using a give to customer now order. And it addresses here the safety. Cadet seniors and ambassadors should be supervised by an adult, but the adult can stay on the sidewalk. And juniors, brownies, and daisies should be accompanied up to the door by a parent. And then Digital Cookie will remain open for shipped orders and girl delivery via the girls' web store, and all of the same social media applies, all those rules. Then when cookies are here, that's when you can do cookie booths. So we have council secured booths. Those are the ones where the council calls and we get locations and timeframes for chain stores like Grocery Outlet, Ridley's, Walmart, Albertsons, Smith's, all of those things. And your troop can secure booths. And that would be somewhere like your, a girl's aunt owns a Hallmark store and she wants to have a booth in front of the Hallmark store. Awesome. So those locations and times need to be submitted to Smart Cookies by the troop cookie manager for the troop to use. So council has to approve it. And so please do put it in at least 24 hours before you'd like to hold the booth if possible. And then when you're entering it, you enter the times and the dates. And then you can also have the opportunity to let other troops choose it on days that you're not available. So if your girl's aunt will allow other troops to come in on other days when your daughter or your troop isn't available, you can specify that in Smart Cookies as well. So there are 2 types of booths. These are outlined in your materials. A troop booth must have at least 2 approved and non-related volunteers and at least 2 girls. We also recommend not having more than 4 girls because they tend to play and they also don't get a whole lot of credit if they're dividing all the sales by more than 4. And then there's also a mom and me booth, which is 1 Girl Scout or her siblings that are also registered in Girl Scouts and participating in the cookie program, and their caregiver or adults approved by the caregiver. And then the cupboards are going to be open by February 20th for cookie restocks, but you don't have to wait until the 20th to place 1 or more cookie orders in Smart Cookies. Okay, so I just recognized that we are at 7:30. So please understand if you need to log off and go handle other things in your life, that is totally fine. Again, we will be uploading this video to our YouTube page. So please don't feel like you need to stay. I'm sorry that we weren't able to cover everything in 90 minutes, but we're hoping to get wrapped pretty soon. This is pretty close to the end of our this section of slides. All right, so cookie booth scheduling. We talked about the 3 rounds of cookie booths. Round 1, troops can select 2 booths at 2 different locations. For example, 1 Albertsons and 1 Ridley's. Then on The Wednesday, troops could choose 3 more booths at any place, so they could do more Albertsons or more Ridleys. And then on round 3, January 25th, that's when troops are free to choose any other booth that your troop is planning to operate. So don't just click yes, 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 yes to all of them because you just want to have the options. That is not allowed. It's also not being friendly and helpful, considering caring, all of those things is not being acting like a Girl Scout. And we need you to turn off the if there's any booth that you find out that there's a girl who's sick and not going to be able to make it, or you decide not to attend a booth, please release it so another troop can choose it. The other reason is because there is a system called Cookie Finder on our website. And if you are on the Cookie Finder because you didn't release the booth, then Mr. Smith from down the street is going to go to Albertsons because he saw it on the Cookie Finder, and he's going to be upset at Girl Scouts because the cookies weren't there. So please do help us maintain our relationships with the stores and with customers by deleting booths that you're not going to be at. We are going to, we have split Walmart Supercenter booths into 2 different doors. So we're not planning on doing that this year. So please keep an eye on the Walmarts and the Fred Meyers. We have been asked to split some Fred Meyer stores. So we're going to figure that out. But in the meantime, just read the information on each booth slot as it's available. So if it says, door X or door Y, that's just for that door. But if it just has the store name like Albertsons or Zamzows or whatever, that's for whatever opening they will let you put a booth at. So that is how that will work. But please keep in mind the location on the sheet. Do pay attention when you're scheduling your booth. Make sure you pay attention to the start times and the locations. So if you go to one that ends at 3 and there's another that starts at 3, understand that you're not going to go clear across town in 0 minutes. You'll have to still pack count your cookies, pack them up, get to the other location, then unpack your cookies, count them up to be ready. So it may not be feasible to have one person going to 2 cookie booths right adjacent to each other. So you may need other volunteers or other parents to be at mom and me booths. Again, please remove booths that you can't operate. So in Smart Cookies, there is something called the booth divider that will allocate the cookies sold to each different girl who works the booth. So if there are 3 girls there and there are 300 cookies sold during that booth, each girl gets 100. And so it will apply those cookies and dollars to the girl. So you see that they have credit for those cookies. It helps your families and your volunteers to determine what booth partners troops use the most, and if any need to be dropped for lack of participation. So Kim and I will look if nobody ever chooses the, I don't know, Kentucky Fried Chicken, then that's not really an actual booth. But if that was a partner and nobody signed up for it, we might stop asking them because it's not worth it. We also, if we need to adjust the time slots because certain times aren't being selected. So maybe nobody takes the 7 to 9 or the early morning on Saturday. We can adjust times in the future. And it helps us gather data and some of those things. So we also have some partners that ask us how many cookies were sold for fundraising purposes at their location, not for our tax documents, but for their for the perceived value of letting us use their sidewalk for a little while. And then most importantly, if a troop is having trouble reconciling their cookies at the end of the program, if they need help from a troop cookie manager or a service unit manager or council, everybody having the same process, it just makes it easier for us to assist you. So if you're using the booth divider and doing it either weekly or each day after the booths are done, that's super easy. So we are planning a just-in-time video on or about February 14th to go into detail about how to use the booth divider. It's very, very easy. Then we have some tips for cookie booths. Again, we're running long, so I will be brief. But we really, really recommend that you do your cookie transfers or your booth distributions every day or after every weekend. It's definitely harder to remember any quirks or, little outlier things that may need to be addressed after more booths have taken place. And you can fix things earlier if you need staff assistance as well. And then most importantly, girls want to know where they are, where they stand, and how many more cookies they need to go to. Um, then when you're at a booth, be friendly and helpful, be sister to every Girl Scout and help them get wrapped up and ready to go. And then also we recommend taking a printout of your booth schedule with you. So in case someone in charge doesn't have access to smart cookies, but does have another troop that's already there that says, no, this is ours. You can show them the list. Oh, no, this says that this Albertsons is ours today at 3 o'clock. So they'll have proof that it's, their store that day. We do have some more tips in our expanded guide on page 20. And there are also a bunch of cookie booth tools. There's a menu cheat sheet, which has been good for the girls when someone comes up and says, hey, what varieties do you have? Some daisies and brownies may have trouble remembering all 9 varieties. I'm not sure I would remember all 9 varieties if I had to not have a look at it. There's also a printable cookie inventory list and a digital booth tracking workbook for you, and that all is available on Cookie Central. The sale concludes on March 16th, so all the council secured booths end that day. All the cookies must be allocated to girls by March 25th, and that's because girls can keep selling after March 16th, and their cookies need to be pulled out of the cupboard before then. So before too long, by March 24th, because then we're going to do the orders or the rewards on March 25th. So if you have a girl who still needs to sell 500 packages of cookies, for example, to get her goal, you as the troop cookie manager can agree to order more cookies out of the cupboard and place the order and pick them up by March 25th so that the girl can meet her goal. And then if you don't have enough money in the bank account by April 8th, you could contact customer care and say, hi, this is Diane from Troop Zero, and we need a postponement of some of our money. You can pull X amount on April 8th. So we are happy to help accommodate you, helping accommodate girls to meet their goals. And then again, we need you to keep your records through the end of the season and submit them to whoever it is in your troop that's working on the annual report. Then rewards, we'll be placing girl reward orders in Smart Cookies. And we recommend that you have each girl write her name on a rewards card, circle what she wants at the camp and cookies and camp meeting, and then photograph each one. Because when you're in there, if you have to choose, and most of the 1,000, actually all of the 1,000 rewards require a choice. If you know the choice at the time of the cookies and camp meeting, on March 24th, when you can't get a hold of her and you don't know which thing to pick, that's going to be a lot more frustrating. So please do ask them to pick, even if it's a fantasy and they, oh, well, if I get 3,000 packages, I'll pick that, because who knows, she might just hit it. She might have some excellent thing happening at a parent's workplace and they sell out for some reason. So please do have them choose, take a picture. Most 1,000 and over rewards will come from council. Some might be shipped directly to girls. Under 1,000 rewards and patches typically come from ABC bakers, but all of them are distributed by the service unit cookie managers. And then program credits, we want those to get out to the girls ASAP because they can be used to pay for camp, destinations, the Disney trip, renewal of their membership, all that kind of thing. And program credits are the most valuable and most flexible reward girls can earn. I'm going to need a sip of some beverage. Okay. The program credits are paper certificates that girls earn in addition to their patches and stuffies. So girls start earning them at 100 packages sold. The program credits that they earn will expire in September 15th, 2027. We've already talked about the pre-application towards the camp balance. Program credits and the bonus council adventure credits will be printed for mailing to the service unit cookie managers the first week of May. So again, please do distribute those as fast as you can. Auto renewal is going to take place at the program credits, at the place where program credits are earned at the required level. We don't know what that is yet. Girls who qualify are automatically opted in. So if a girl or caregiver lets you know that she's not returning, then you should opt her out. But otherwise, everyone else will be opted in to the membership renewal for your convenience. And again, the council leadership, we've analyzed and are continuing to analyze the impact of a council service fee for 25-26 membership dues. And so we will be updating all the True Cookie managers when we know what that level is and what how many cookies girls need to sell to earn that membership. Please do not wait until you have every single reward to distribute the program credits. We want those to go out right away. Okay, then here we have some ideas to make contacts and or maximize opportunities with selling cookies. This is my favorite slide. My dad and I talked a lot about the ways we sold cookies when I was a girl. Of course, we didn't have emails or digital cookie or anything, but we did have school staff and not just the teachers, repeat customers, all that kind of thing. So if you know how to take a screenshot, I would recommend taking one here. You can also ask customer care for the sales ideas slide. Okay, we also have some examples of some sales tools. You can make or make do with dollar store tablecloths, a cookie case stand, which I have a picture here, posters, maybe a whiteboard. You can also, we have materials at the Silver Sage store you can purchase. So those include new cookie costumes, which we're super excited about. We have Girl Scouts balloons. We have cookie pom-poms. We have cookie tablecloths. We've got signs, uniforms, and swag, because we always want the girl to be identifiable as a Girl Scout when she's selling cookies. That's really important. And then we also have some things that you can borrow from the council, which include a big flag that's in the shape of a feather. I think that's about 6 feet tall, and it has a stand. We also have some cookie costumes on hand to borrow. And then we also have several air dancers to loan out. So the air dancers are those long noodle people that you see at car dealerships. We have Girl Scout noodle people. So we are really excited about that. They come with a big fan, and then the silk satiny part is the person. And so you would borrow those together. You may need a extension cord to do that, but they're really great and they attract a lot of attention at your booth. All right, so first, I want to thank you all very much for being here, for going over the cookie season with me and with Kim and with our friend Carrie. And this is, again, just the cookie sale portion of our presentation. And now we are going to accept questions about the cookie program before we go on to the cookie systems slides. And please, you're welcome to unmute or you can ask questions in the chat. Looks like we may have some already.
Yeah, we had a few questions that came through. A couple of them were sent directly to me, but I feel like they are important questions and are going to be had by multiple people. So one of the questions was in regards to girls earning their membership through the cookie program this year. Yes, they will be able to opt in, or they will be automatically opted in to earn their membership at a certain level. What that level is, however, we are still not sure because council management is taking they're doing their due diligence to make sure that if a council service fee is added to the membership fee, because normally there are 2 different fees that your membership covers. Next year with the increase from GSUSA, that is just 1 fee. Once it goes up to that full amount for the 65 in 2026, then part of that 65 will come back to councils from GSUSA. But they're trying to figure out what is going to work best for our families, for our council, and they're really looking at all of the different angles and trying to figure out the best possible solution. So it's taken a little bit longer than we had hoped. We were hoping we would have that information for you by today, but they are still contemplating and thinking and looking through the data. So once we know what that level is in which a girl will earn her membership with her program credits, we will let you all know. We will put it on our Facebook page. We will put it in the FAQ page. We will blast it every single place we possibly can, because we know you're all craving that answer. Did I miss anything, or did you have any more to add to that, Kim?
No, I don't. I'm actually in answering some other questions. So
Okay,
we
perfect.
have some questions about the early booth options. So if you earned an early booth slot during the fall product program, you will get an email with information on how to select that. And that all of that selection and then all of that data will be entered into Smart Cookies before that first round of booths start. So it will be grayed out or blocked out or however it shows on the volunteer side, but they will already be out of there by the time you start. It might not be a whole lot of time before you start, but it will be there by the time you are able to look at Smart Cookies to start your first round. In addition, while we're talking about council secured booths, it may be possible that many of the booths that are listed might say something like unsecured. And what that means is that this booth partner has worked with us before, and we totally expect them to say yes, but we haven't had a chance, haven't been able to reach their manager or designee on the phone. So again, we've worked with them before. We fully expect them to do it again. And we think they will, which is why we're putting them in the system. If it's a new booth contact that we haven't worked with before and they haven't said for sure yes, we won't put them in there because we don't know. And we think it's not fair unless we're fairly sure that it's going to be a thing. When should we expect to know what level to earn the membership is? It will absolutely be before cookies start. I can't otherwise give you a time frame, but it will definitely be before January 10th. Again, Kim mentioned that we're taking a very cautious and diligent approach about looking at all the different options, our budget, what's possible, what's necessary. And I know also that our mission delivery task force discussed it yesterday. So I'm sure a decision is coming very soon, and we'll make sure to communicate that out to everyone as soon as we can. Okay, if we had a troop Venmo set up, sure, Kyle, you can use your troop Venmo if you want. However, you may experience fees, and you may also experience a 1099 for tax season. In addition, selling merchandise is against the terms of service of Venmo. So 100%, I would not recommend it. And yes, you can. I mean, yeah. Danielle, I am not aware of a crossover patch. We will have to get back to you on that. Christina, the CUNA cupboard was requested by, I'm thinking Annette. Don't you think, Kim?
I think it was
Annette
Annette.
Grove?
Yeah, she offered to run a cupboard. And
yes,
I'm
she
thinking,
might not.
Yeah,
she might not have received the yes, we're doing it message. Oh, already checked with Annette. Okay, well, then announcements of a CUNA cupboard may have been premature. Thank you for letting us know.
Yes.
All right, what else? Natasha Ward has 4 or 5 more questions. Please unmute and let us roll.
All right, my first question is regarding entering into the digital cookie system. In the previous years, when you have a troop donated package, there wasn't a way to enter it. I had to enter it like as a Thin Mint or just any box of cookies and make a note of it. Is that the same this year?
Yes, yes. Okay. There is not a place for a troop donation. So most donations should come through as a cookie share donation. But if your troop is needing to go and do something different, they can, but it's something that you'll have to track.
Okay, my next question is about program credits. So last year was the first year, and you guys mentioned it's happening again this year. that they're going to be auto applied to camp.
If they
Is
want to.
there, yes, if they choose to, is there a
Mhm.
list or some sort of a report? Because as a troop cookie manager and then my service cookie manager, I didn't have any way to know who of my girls applied and how much. So in the past, when I've gotten the program credits, it was my job to ensure that each girl got the right amount because we've had glitches, things didn't print and so forth like that. I can't do that if I don't have some sort of a report.
Um, I, I will have to look into that. There are multiple reports, unfortunately, that I look at. So I'll have to get back to you on that, Natasha. I don't know exactly how that would work.
Okay. My next one is, oh, so I've had this question for quite a few years, and we've changed things. We have digital cookie as our main system instead of eBuddy for the last couple of years.
Mhm.
I haven't gone in to look, but in the past 2 years for sure, when girls use their online platform to sell virtually, the wording, which most of the wording, 90% of it, we don't change. We're not allowed to change. It's through the system. Um, is confusing in the fact that it talks about girls, if you buy a donated box, you're donating it to the troops donation program.
Mhm.
So I've had customers for our troop ask about that, but when up until this year, I don't know this year, when it's been donated online, there's only one place and it goes to council's program. So A, is that still the case? And then B, if it is there a way to make it very, very clear that customers understand that they cannot donate to my troop online?
That is a question for GSUSA and or Smart Cookies. I don't know if Carrie is still on with us and can. Oh no, well Carrie isn't. Sorry, she's a Smart Cookies, not a digital cookie. But I will put this in through our customer care, which is where all questions end up eventually, and we'll see if we can get that feedback to Heather Law, who's in charge of all of the digital cookie stuff, and make that happen for you and
Okay,
us.
perfect.
Now, I
The,
do think, in addition to that, Natasha, I do think, so this year, we did tweak that, cookie share a little bit in that Kim, you're still sharing your screen, by the way.
Oh, great. Whoops. Okay, sorry. I was just making sure we had all that. Okay,
Yeah.
how about now?
Now we're good.
Great.
In the digital cookie, so all donations will now go towards the council cookie share program. If a troop would like to do donations through what used to be the tracked program, that is not going to be a field you will see anymore in smart cookies. I don't think. I could be wrong. You could still see it. It just will be grayed out or not available. But if you want your customers to be able to do donations and stuff like that, I would recommend letting them personally letting them know if they put in donation as their first name and then their last name when they're placing the order, and then any of those cookies in that order, you'll know that they want to be donated. That's one workaround for it, but anything that is sent through an online purchase as a donation will go towards the council donation program this year. It made tracking it easier, especially for new troops. And as far as any of those the keep the change donations you might get at your cookie booth, that could definitely go towards a troop donation program, but it's not going to be as advertised as it has been in the past.
okay. And you are correct. As long as I've been a Girl Scouts, online has always gone to the council. It's never been an option. I was just inquiring about the wording because it has been confusing in the past. And as a troop leader who's had multiple troops and done cookie sales for a long time, and many of the leaders in my service unit, if there were something we could change, I would definitely advocate for adding in something into the system to have it tracked where troops can donate cookies to the troop, because that is one super obvious way so that no troop will have cookies left over at the end of the season. I cannot tell you how many times two of my troops have taken cookies off of other leaders in our service unit at the end of the day, so they didn't have any debt because we had so many troop donated cookies. So I would really just advocate for that. If that was a change that could be made, I think that would help a lot of troops who had cookies left at the end of the year. I've never I'd have to ask my co-leader how long we've done Girl Scouts, ever had cookies left over at any of my sales. So just my little 2 cents on that. And then I have one more question.
Okay.
So we talked about when cookies arrive at the cupboard, you guys mentioned that it would be really, really helpful to have all troop booth orders placed into the system February 23rd. Put your dates out, for your weekends of booths. And I'm just gonna be upfront with you. I'm gonna be a little bit irritated because I am a working mom. I have 2 jobs, and so I plan things to like a T. So I'm just giving you that background so you understand where I'm coming from. I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm just going to give you my info. When we do that, I specifically last year went to place an order ahead of time, like I was told. I think we did a week ahead or something. I had a booth that weekend. My booth was after work. I actually took off of work, took time off to go to my booth. I had my co-leader, because she luckily didn't work that day, go to the cupboard and get cookies, and she was told they didn't have any. Now, I understand that, yes, you can go to a booth, you can sell without a variety. I get all that stuff. My job as a leader is to make it the best experience for my girls possible, which is why I plan. They knew my order was placed at time, week ahead of time. What she was told was, instead of, and I can't give you the specific numbers, but in general, instead of the 5 pallets of Thin Mints, it wasn't Thin Mints, that were supposed to come in, only 1 pallet came in, which I understand that kind of thing maybe could happen if whoever didn't bring you the right amount of pallets or whatever, like things like that happen. I get that. That's out of your control, probably. What I don't understand is if that truly does happen, then that day, I feel like whoever had their orders placed when they came to the cupboard, instead of whoever gets there first, because they're not a working parent, gets their order, I have to now say, the cupboard should say, okay, you're going to get part of your order because I'm going to give everybody a little bit instead of first come, first serve, because I'm getting penalized because I work. So again, I apologize. I know I'm sounding kind of rude, but that I'm just wondering, are we going to continue that process, or are we going to be more transparent about, you can place your order, but I'm not guaranteeing that you're going to have this? I understand it's an estimate, but do you understand my question?
I think I do. I'll take a stab at it. First of all, I'm sorry you experienced that. I know it's frustrating. We also have between 5 and 10 different volunteers who are running the cupboards, and the transparency has always been there, except that they are first come, first served. And the flip side of that coin is, yes, your order was placed early, and we super love and appreciate that. And also, we aren't forcing you or anyone else to take the cookies either. So it's certainly possible that volunteer A places an order a week in advance, and then those 6 days beforehand, her daughter gets sick and decides she doesn't want to do that booth, and then her order still sits there because she's working and busy and can't delete it. It's kind of 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. But yes, I will make a specific request to cupboards that they look at their upcoming orders and err on the side of, if there is a future order in there, that they have enough cookies for them. Yes, and I appreciate that feedback. Thank you. We do
Okay.
want that information from you, so thanks.
Thank you. I do have one more question just to clarify.
Yeah.
So you answered my question, I think, pretty much. So for the people who get the early booth pick, you're going to email them ahead of time. They're going to tell you what they
Yes.
want.
Yes.
You're going to have the list of what they want. They get
Yes.
extra picks. Great. Love it. But Kim, you said, I'm going to get to see it, but I might not get to see it until 6:59. Like,
it won't be that late. So it also so it depends, and
okay.
we work as quickly as we can. Our plan at this time is to send a message to each one of the winning troops
Right.
and ask them to look at Smart Cookies, look at the booths that are available and tell us their top 3 or 4 picks. We will go in order. So we'll pull them randomly. So if your troop is pulled first, then we will give you your first choice because that will definitely be available. And the
Okay.
second one we pull, we'll get their first choice if that's available, and then we'll go down from there. If anyone else needs a choice and we don't have that something that they chose, we'll contact them again and get their choice and move in a random pick order of who has responded to us by the deadline.
Right. And I love that. Like, however, I'm not an early winner. So like, that's great. I'm just coming from the standpoint of I'm not an early winner. And so when I go in, I want to be able to know, because I have to plan if anybody out there has done cookie booth, my one co-leader got to do it the first time a couple years ago. And she was like, oh, this is not what I thought it was. So she knows what I'm talking about, but it literally is done in 10 seconds. And I just want to have all the information again. I'm a planner. I like to know these
Yep.
are my options. When I'm in there, it's so super fast. So I want to be able to know that these have been picked. So this should not be on my list. So like if that's
Yes.
6 o'clock
Ye-
that night, that's plenty of time for me. I can do that. I can get my list ahead of time and read. But I will be sad if it's like 6:59 and then I have to revamp my plan.
No,
Hopefully
they
it will
should
be
be.
the
They should
day
be in
before
there.
at least.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
So one of the things we talked about, we had a brand new slide in our training tonight, and that was please contact customer care with all the information. So if we can't fulfill somebody's 4 things, we might give them half an hour to get back to us and pick something else, but we won't be able to wait for them to pick their 5th or 6th option, because we don't want everyone else to wait. If they're planning on, if you're making your own list of what you want, we don't want that to wait until even that day, but we are going to do our very best. We're just a few people, and I think we have 50 slots to put in there, so we'll
Yes.
get it done the best we can, we promise. Looks like there have been a few other things in the chat.
Yes. I did see one other question here. One of Natasha's questions, and I don't think I was able to answer it. She had asked about the initial order process. Last year was kind of crazy. There was a not very intuitive glitch that made it very difficult to submit your order unless you knew exactly where to look and what to click on, and it was pretty crazy. So this last summer, Digital Cookie and Smart Cookie went and they took a deep dive into all of the feedback that they got from councils, from parents, from customers, from girls, and they spent the entire summer making synchronization changes, so that the way that the systems will talk to each other will be a little bit different, and it should be improved and better.
That's the very next slide. The
Yeah.
very next slide, as we talk about systems, that's what we're talking about.
Yes.
So I will put it right up here.
Yes,
Okay, can you
they
see it?
definitely should be talking better together, and that the only small glitch that there may still be in the initial order is if you have a girl who got an order on the date that the order is due, and they approve the order within the next 5 days, it still technically could be part of her initial order. And that would just filter right in through Digital Cookie. So it would just be an additional, package or so of cookies that just get added onto her order. So that's the only one. But when you do pull that the all orders report from Digital Cookie, there is a column in there, and if they didn't change which information is in each column, I want to say it was column M, that said, is this part of their initial order? And so you can take that report, you can filter it just by initial order, and then that is everything that each of your girls should have had on her initial order, and it will include any of those last minute approvals.
And I will stop the recording.